the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Whiny, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Close enough. How's it going, Ruther?
So how would you pronounce it?
Well, Wanimi with an M at the end.
What? Port Whiny.
There you go.
It's good, man. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm ready to dive into some things today. We have a hockey update from hockey correspondent Ryan Klatt coming on here in about 2025. You know, the big news obviously is the Kansas Whiny Chiefs. Oh my God, I didn't get a call.
Yeah. I got to say, I was watching the game and the reaction of Patrick Mahomes after they came off the field. So on third down, you know, that play is on the play with the touchdowns called back. Kadarius Toney the penalty. I believe it was on third. And then it gets pushed back. They replay the down. Is that right? And then
was it third or was it second?
Maybe it was second. But then again on third down. So on third down, I thought for sure. I mean, I'm watching live eyes. First of all, let me just tell you something as a wide receiver, and I know everybody's going to call bullshit on this. First of all, on the Kadarius Toney play, I said, he's lined up awfully close to the fucking line there. Like, I was like, he's kind of in the neutral zone in my head because I'm always looking at those guys like who's supposed to be on the line, who's supposed to be off the line. It's just something that naturally I do, which we'll get to a second part of my lifelong receiver life and how it plays into this. But first of all, I noticed that. Then on the third down play after the penalty, I said Von Miller just went offsides. And I thought they were going to throw a flag free play. And then Mahomes was pissed, and he's yelling offsides, not neutral zone, not whatever. I thought he was pissed that on back-to-back plays, they call it on the Chiefs, and they didn't call it on the Bills. And he's screaming at the ref, and I'm like, that's what he's pissed about. Everybody's thinking he's pissed about the Kadarius Toney play. He's pissed that they blew it on the opposite side. When the game ends and they go into the press conference and they start complaining about that call, I was like, oh, well, I was wrong. And now you guys are whining clown bitches. Like now that I know that you're whining about a blatantly offsides Kadarius Toney, of course Patrick Mahomes is right. The play was sick. Travis Kelce throwing that ball with a perfect spiral. Amazing. Also, he was offsides.
And also, all you need to do is look at the ref, the hand signal. Am I good? And the ref will tell you.
This is what I was going to say before. Andy, when I say...
all you got to do is look at the ref.
When I say I played God knows how many snaps as a split end, and God knows how many snaps. So when I was younger, I on my young football team, my Pop Warner football team, I played flanker. So essentially you're lined up off the line the whole time. You're always in the backfield, but you're like a little slot guy, right? Or you're a little off the end of the line thing. So that was always check to make sure you're off the line. And then as I got older and I got taller and I was playing a little bit more like split end, now you're on the line. And it's always check when you're on the, I mean, when I say every friggin' play, it's like part of the thing. You go out there, am I good? And they just go, you're good. And that's it. And then they can't call a penalty on you
Yeah.
If you just go, am I good? And they go, you're good. And it becomes to the point over the course of a game. There's no verbal thing. You put up your hand, they put up their hand. You put up your hand. Sometimes you'll get like a move back. Sometimes you'll get like a move forward. But like he was so egregiously on the other side of the ball. Not to mention the like, if you look at the line, dude, is your right tackle playing flanker? Like he's 3 yards in the backfield. So like, what are we doing at this point? But like, you can't be on the defensive side of the ball.
Also, the flag wasn't thrown late. It was thrown right away. Right. Like it's thrown right away. There's no delay. So this is what Mahomes said, which you're referring to. This is what he said. I believe this is what he said in the press conference.
It should. I mean, obviously tough to swallow. I mean, not only for me, but just for football in general. I mean, just to take away greatness like that. I mean, for a guy like Travis to make a play like that, and who knows if we win. But as I know, as fans, you want to see the guys on the field decide the game, and that's why last week I didn't.
I'm gonna stop it real quick. Football in general, just shut the fuck up. I'll tell you what. This is the first time I'm like, you're just a bitch.
100%, because
dude, you're a bitch.
You're coming off a Super Bowl that you won on a ticky-tack call.
I know.
And if you go back, I hate the Eagles. Everybody knows that, right? But I say this with the most honesty that I can say something. I don't give a shit. In that moment during the Super Bowl, my hatred of the Eagles is not why I defended that call on this podcast and to people. It's like, we have to stop talking about the NFL refs, and they want this team to win. They want that team to win. It's rigged for the Chiefs. It's rigged for the Patriots. It's rigged for this team. They like that team. NFL refs fucking stink. They stink generally, mostly because they're also fucking dentists and lawyers and fucking podcast hosts. Like, you have the most financially profitable fucking sports league. Give the guys a full-time job. Let them be training in the offseason. Teach them these things in the offseason instead of having to be fucking a real estate lawyer redlining fucking leases in the offseason. Like, NFL refs are bad. And for me, I hate it. I hate it when fans are upset that they made the right call. Let's be upset when they made the wrong call. And let's just absolutely fucking jump for joy when they manage to get it right. This is the right call. They got it right. It was the right call in the Super Bowl. They got it right. One of them led to you winning a Super Bowl. One of them led to you losing a regular season game and still being first in the AFC West. And to fucking bitch about it. Yeah, cool play, Travis Kelce. Also, you guys benefited from Kadarius Toney and his crazy athleticism in the Super Bowl when he scored a touchdown on a fucking wild play and had a big punt return. And now, for the same reasons you got him for a very low draft pick from the Giants, you did not benefit because the guy's a fucking idiot and has been a fucking idiot probably since the day he was born. He looks like an absolute insane person. If you walked around, if you walked down a street in any major city, turn the corner and Kadarius Toney was staring at you, you would run in the opposite direction. He's an unhinged fucking maniac who probably doesn't know offsides and the rules. And the idea of fucking checking in with the rest is absurd to him. But dude, it's the right call.
Well, he continues to go on, of course.
Say anything about the flag that didn't get called on the Marquez. And so, I mean, they're human, man. They make mistakes. But, I mean, it's every week we're talking about something, and all I can do is go out there and give everything I have, and I'm proud of the guys because that's what we did, and it was a great football game that ended, another great football game that just ended like that. It's just tough to swallow.
Patrick, what do you, for lack of a better term, what made it boil over? Was it that itself, or was it
it's the call, man. Just in that moment, I mean, it's not even for myself or for me.
Shut the fuck up, dude. I'll tell you what. not even for myself. It's 100%. Dude, you need to like this. I'll tell you what, this is a side of him that he needs to lose and never show again. This is your little brother. This is your wife. This is the thing everyone hates about people in your family. You sound like such a whiny little bitch who
And
didn't
I
get his way.
hate the phrase. Not in that moment. Not in that moment. We have to think about the moment. Stop. I've said it on this. I said it in regards to the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl on a call. Please do not sit there and fucking complain about the quality of NFL referees and then add to their plate. Think about the moment. This is the rules, but this is the moment. What moment? The end of a week 14 regular season game between one team who's in first place and one team who's not in the playoffs? This is now a moment? So when does the moment start? Last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter? When you can no longer review calls, that is when the moment begins? Can we not try to add to the already incompetent NFL referees? You also have to think about when and when not to enforce the rules. Dude, the Eagles were saying last year, how do you make that call in that moment? And I said, rules are fucking rules. Patrick Mahomes, in the most disrespectful manner, please shut the fuck up.
And the thing about all this whining, you even got it from the coach, like Andy Reid. You know what it is to me? This is what this is to me. It's a team that has never struggled, really, right? This is what, the 5th year Mahomes has been starting. He's been playing since 2019. This is their worst start after 13 games. And it's like they suddenly have problems, and they have problems. They do. Not defensively. They're ranked number 3 points per game defensively. Great defense. They have problems on offense. And they're like, what do we do? We've lost 4 of 6. Oh, this is what we do. We go and we complain about the refs. And it's a terrible, terrible look. And you know what? I've never really like hated the Chiefs. I don't care. Like, I like to watch good teams. I like to watch good players. Now I'm rooting against you. I'm rooting against you guys now. Sorry.
And let me just say this. I know this is not the time for this conversation. Everybody wants to talk about Kadarius Toney and the rules and the whining and whatever. You invited the devil into your box this year.
I knew that was coming.
You invited the devil herself into your fucking box this year. And now you're upset shit's not going your way? Oh,
man.
Was he penalized? Did Travis' special touchdown get taken off the board? Maybe stop harboring terrorists in your luxury suites. Karma is Kadarius Toney offsides.
Well, look, I obviously had thought about that as well. The Taylor Swift curse. Anything short of an AFC championship is 100% a Taylor Swift curse. Has never happened before since Mahomes took over.
I mean, but also look at Patrick Mahomes. We've never seen this from Patrick Mahomes.
I've never seen this from him.
Patrick Mahomes, calm, cool, collected, now acting like Taylor Swift after a guy misses her birthday brunch. Just screaming. Gonna write a 14-minute song about it.
I cannot believe the refs would make that call at this time of the game.
Going to write a 25-minute song about the referee, but not name his name. It'll just be a song about zebras. The zebras in the wild are out to get you. Just some thinly veiled fucking metaphor that's so goddamn shallow that 30-year-old single white women get it without having to fucking Google what the hell it means. Just the shallowest metaphor about a stampede of zebras killing my family.
Yeah, it's a terrible look, man. It is. And it's like I said, now you have everybody. I'll play a couple calls. We have a few calls. Everybody's just rooting against you and talking shit. That's what's going on now.
Yo, Dirty Sports, your boy Nick, coming live from Alaska. Anyways, bro, Bills Chiefs, Patty Mahomes, Queerbait Mahomes. Dude, fuck this guy, bro. Dude, if you're a Chiefs fan, bro, come at me, man. You bitch-ass team, you bitch me. You hear me? Fucking oh, yeah. Dude, this guy's like a little bitch complaining like a crybaby, bro. You lost. Take that L. Take that L, pussy. Fucking frog boy. Take that fucking L, boy. Travis Kelce, bitch ass, bro. Like, how could anyone be a Chiefs fan? I know Joey Prano hates the Eagles. Go Birds. I know he hates the Eagles, but at least they're fucking cool. At least Jalen Hurts is cool as fuck. Hey, at least Tom Brady was cool. He had a fucking supermodel fucking wife. This fucking dork got a fucking crazy ass fucking bitch from high school. That whack ass Brittany Mahomes bitch with his whack ass brother. Fuck this guy, bro. Anyways, you boys know how it is. It's about legacy, yo. Kellen Winslow out. Peace.
It's the most Alaska. As a guy who just came from Alaska, that's the most Alaska call ever.
Yeah,
I say things like queer bait in Alaska.
I don't even know what that means. I'm like, what does that mean? I think we have another one too.
Joseph and Andy Ruther. It's right from beautiful Toms River, New Jersey, home of the 98 League World Series champions. Yeah, just finished watching Chiefs Bills. Tough watch. The audacity of little Kermit the Frog, Patrick Mahomes. Not the audacity, the hypocrisy of him complaining about the referees post-game. Like, one of his quotes, take away greatness like that. I know his fans want to see the guys on the field decide the game. What does that remind you of? Super Bowl 57, anyone? No? James Bradbury deciding the game? I mean, like, dude. Kadarius Toney was offside. It was pretty black and white. It's not like he's ticky-tacky. Like, you're offside or you're not. Like, I've never seen Peyton Manning or Tom Brady complain about refs after a game. They're always just like, hey, it doesn't come down to one play. But no, Mahomes just being childish, blaming refs. It's kind of overplayed, like, talking about refs in sports. Like, we get it. They suck. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Condoms are for Kansas City acting like children when you guys won 2 of the last 4 Super Bowls. Like, get over it.
You know, and that is a good point. It doesn't come down to one play. Maybe score some points. You guys scored 17 points. Your offense is not top 10 anymore. Like, they're ranked 11th points per game. This is their worst offensive team they've had under Mahomes. Maybe score some points. You're at home. You scored 17 points.
It's easy to say, you know, it doesn't come down to one play, but also sports so often does. And like, you know, the Super Bowl did, and like, but also it didn't, you know what I mean? Like it, like Vince Lombardi said, there's 5 game-changing plays in every game, the 5 momentum-changing games or plays in every game. But like, yeah, of course, in some ways, sports doesn't come down to one play, but at the same time, it kind of does. Like, they score a touchdown there, the game is over. My point is just like what the caller said, like, we get it, the refs suck. It's like, to me, you totally lose me. I mean, one of the great angry ref rants on this show was Saints Rams when that call is blown, because like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, let's pick and choose when correct calls are to be made. I'm just not going to do it. Andy, you've heard me on this show say, why is it that pass interference doesn't exist on Hail Marys? Like, why is it that doesn't happen? Like, for once, I'd like that to be called. Like, I want that rule to change.
It is crazy.
Today.
You could
like,
literally.
I want a game. I want a playoff game changed when the ball gets pushed to the 1 yard line because somebody gets shoved during a Hail Mary. Why can you shove guys during Hail Marys? The rules are the rules. And when the NFL referees that honestly at this point genuinely kind of stink, get it right, you're not going to hear me complain. And I think it's pathetic to complain because everybody begs and pleads for the refs to get it right. And then when they do, you bitch, not me, not this guy.
My favorite though is Mahomes. It's not about us. He's trying to champion like the quality of the game, of the sport, of the fans. It's one of the most ridiculous plays I've ever seen. And when it comes to making the calls at the time, it's the same way in basketball. We always say, if it's a foul, it's a foul.
Right.
Well, I can't make that call on the final play. If it's a foul, it's a foul.
Which is, we talk about like one of LeBron's like knocks on his career, which again is in a sense somewhat valid. In a sense, it's somewhat valid. LeBron flops. That is somewhat valid.
Sure.
But what is also valid is if LeBron does not flop, LeBron does not get foul calls. And why is a foul on LeBron or a foul on Shaq or a foul on Giannis different than a foul on James Harden? Different than a foul on Steph? It absolutely should not be. The rules should be the rules. So I am okay with LeBron flopping because the rules should be the rules. And if this is what LeBron needs to do to get some portion of correct foul calls called on him, then I'm okay with it. The rules are the rules. Stick to the fucking rules. The same thing goes with baseball. Oh, well, I mean, it's the knees, but it's really kind of below the knees to the letters, but really it's more of the midsection because no one's swinging at a ball. What the fuck are we talking about? Robot umpires then. Knees to the letters. Them's the fucking, like, why do we even have rules?
Yeah.
If you're going to pick and choose the moments or the players or the teams that those rules are enforced on. And honestly, for sports fans out there, the people who are saying, how dare the Chiefs? All the refs do is save the Chiefs. It's also a loser argument. No, they don't. No, they fucking don't. The refs are just trying to get the right. Did the refs save the Chiefs when they called the exact same call they called yesterday on the defensive side of the ball to give Tom Brady that AFC Championship game? No. So like the refs, we just have to applaud. We just have to applaud these fucking refs and umpires when they fucking get it right.
Yeah, and the fans, like, let's say if you're a Chiefs fan, there's just no way around this. It's the right call. He's clearly offsides, and he's a fucking idiot. Like I said, all you have to do is look at the ref and say, "Am I good?" And he'll tell you. He'll tell you, "No, you're not good. You got to back up, man."
And it's also, that's just, I hate to say it, but that's just like a lack of caring, a lack of the bottom line is, if Kadarius Toney checked with the ref every single time he went to the line, the entire time he's played football, like I fucking did, it would just be second nature. It would just be strapping your chin strap. But he doesn't. He's a fucking nutbag lunatic. He's clearly lazy when it comes to that shit. And dude, you're not even like in the neutral. You were offsides. You weren't even in the neutral zone.
It was blatant.
His head and Von Miller's helmet were like fucking a millimeter apart. Yeah. Now, also, I think Von Miller was offsides on the third down play. I think it was pretty. I saw it live. I saw it on replay. I saw Mitchell Schwartz break it down and say he wasn't. I disagree. He at one point, Mitchell Schwartz says, "Oh, you see him? He leans down here. He hasn't moved forward yet." I disagree. I think Von Miller was offside. And let me just say, I was giving Patrick Mahomes the benefit of the doubt. I was giving Patrick Mahomes the benefit of the doubt that he was going, "How are you going to call offsides on us? But then I don't get the free play when Von Miller jumps." But he didn't. And dude, the worst of it all is him with Josh Allen after the fucking game.
Bitching about the call.
Dude, how many times have you beaten Josh Allen on some wild shit? You can't just say good game?
Yeah, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. I think the NFL needs to issue a statement with either Goodell or the ref and they need to call Mahomes a jabroni. They need to do a little Kelsey on him.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth, you fucking jabroni.
The ref needs to be like, oh, yeah, you guys say we can't make the right call. We made the right call in that moment, yeah, jabroni.
Maybe get some of Jim Irsay's crew involved since he loves wrestling.
Yeah. All year, everybody's saying we can't make a right call. How you like our right calls now?
So obviously we have a lot of NFL to talk, but like I alluded to earlier, I'm very excited. We're going to get a hockey update from our guy, Ryan Klatt, coming to us all the way from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Andy Ruther. Joe Pareto. How's it going?
We look like cell phone service of beards. It's just going like this.
Yeah, I had to be prepared for today, so got it looking nice.
Right, what's new, man? Talk to me
let's just get this out of the way. Can you update Andy on the trains? What's going on in Trainville?
Train update first. Yeah, I saw that coming. Pretty crazy summer in the railway. we had like a massive incident, like a crazy crash happened in our company. So that was exciting.
Where did that occur?
It occurred in Wainwright, Alberta. That's where we trade off with the Edmonton crews, and they take the train the rest of the way. So one train came flying down one track, and another train was they had the light to leave at the other end, so they were merging onto that track, and the train that was flying down just didn't stop, so they crashed right into this other train. And the unit.
Well, thankfully it happened in Wainwright, Alberta, so no human beings were injured in the crash, right?
Well, no, there was no injuries actually. But,
oh, for real? Good, no casualties.
You mean you've never heard of Wainwright, Alberta, Joe?
No.
Oh, all right.
Pitched for the Cardinals for a while, I believe.
Yeah, that's
where's
families from there.
Where's Wainwright, Alberta?
It's right by Lloydminster. You know where that is.
I feel like you're naming cheeses. I've had Lloydminster.
I feel like he's naming Shrek villains. Lloydminster.
Andy, you live in a city called Cincinnati.
Oh, little shots fired.
But anyways, back to the train story. The unit derailed and it wound up tipped over on its side. Amazingly, the crew wasn't even injured, but they got fired.
They got fired.
Yeah.
They were injured financially.
Yeah.
What happens? What's the response to that? How do you get a train back on the track? Do you just get a crane in there and lift it one car at the time?
Yeah. I know, from personal experience.
And you just put it back on.
Yeah. I've derailed a train myself, actually. It wasn't that serious, but yeah. We don't have to get.
Is that kind of a flex in the train business? I derailed one.
Well, it was a pretty big fuck up on my end, but yeah, it was. Yeah, but like you said, Joe, they just take a crane and lift all the.
How many cars derailed when you did it?
Just one.
Oh, okay, not bad.
Yeah. There's these things called derails that they're hinged pieces of metal that are on in industries and stuff. They derail cars in case their brakes fail, so that the cars don't run out.
A purposeful derailing.
Yeah. And obviously you have to take them off before you spot cars where you're putting them. And I missed one. So
wow.
Yeah. So that was fun. That was a good day.
So who's more derailed?
And then you started yelling at the referee. You're like,
yeah,
I fucked up, but it's your fucking fault. Why would you tell me to fucking
what's this derail doing here? Who put that there?
Not the moment for this.
Yeah.
So we obviously haven't had you on this hockey season. And it seems the big news has nothing to do with what's going on the actual ice,
Oh man, yeah.
I'm hearing some
rumors,
scandals, and I don't even remember the initial call. But then I got a DM from Jacob Faith.
Oh,
former hockey
alive
on it. Yeah,
he is. Do you know about this former hockey correspondent? That I don't even know who this is. So is Corey Perry a hockey player?
Yes. Yeah.
So that he banged Chris Chelios' daughter?
Oh, is that breaking news from
This
Jacob
is it.
Faith?
This is
Okay,
insider sources.
This
Now,
is
is Corey Perry the guy who's already involved in this other story?
yeah. So
That's what I said,
the rumor was that Corey Perry banged Connor Bedard's mom. So that kind of took off. Like, I believe
So
there was
Corey Perry is just basically checking off all of the porn genres. Stepdaughter, MILF.
yeah,
Goldberg would love this.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. He just needs like teacher.
He just
or
needs
something.
big black cock necks.
My mom's gonna love this conversation. So there was a game, I think. So he played like November 19th was his last game, and then they traveled to Columbus, and he was a healthy scratch, and then he was a healthy scratch in the next game, and that's when rumors started flying around.
Now wait, for what team is he on?
He's on the Blackhawks.
And Connor Bedard is on the Blackhawks?
Yeah, he was the first overall pick, like the big
Right. He's
deal
the guy.
prospect.
He's the LeBron James sort of prospect.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's banging his own
Wemby.
teammates' moms?
The rumor was that Corey Perry banged Connor Bedard's mom because this road trip that the Blackhawks were on was apparently a mom's trip. Like they do mom's trips and dad's trips. So this was a mom's
hockey.
trip. So yeah, isn't it? So anyways,
wait a second, hold on. Can we tap the brakes? What does this even mean? We do mom's trips, and these are professional athletes. This isn't my high school doing like
Every
a mom's
hockey
prom.
player is just a peewee hockey player that's grown in size.
Andy, who's gonna bring the orange slices in between periods
Yeah.
if there's no moms?
Unbelievable.
So anyways, so rumors started flying around, and then the Blackhawks released a statement saying that they were terminating Corey Perry's contract due to unacceptable conduct. And they didn't say what it was, though. So that kind of got the rumors. It gave them some validity, right?
Right.
So now everyone's... And then eventually Corey Perry came out with a statement and said, this did not involve a teammate or a teammate's family. Alcohol was involved. I guess he's seeking help for alcohol abuse or something. So something happened. But this thing that Jacob Faith told you, maybe he's got some more insight that I don't.
Well, that's what this says. Actually, it says from inside sources that he hooked up with Chris Chelios' daughter. Now, here's what I find interesting as I'm learning all these things while talking to you. So Corey Perry is 38. He's been in the league a while. He's also married.
Oh yeah. That was the big part of the scandal. He's married.
Okay.
Yeah, he's married. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know if hockey player cheats on wife is really part of the scandal. I think a breaking Sports Center news story should be hockey player doesn't cheat on wife.
Attractive wife, Blakeney Perry. I'm checking her out.
All right.
She's good, very good looking woman. So okay. So they got kids involved.
I think it's safe to say Corey Perry has derailed his marriage. Let's go. Train bit.
I almost feel like I like that. I really like that. I also like this idea of, we had a lot of Corey's. This is probably a little before your time, Ryan. In the 80s, we had Corey Feldman praying out. Like, can we get like
Corey Haim,
Corey Hart,
Canadian,
can we get
Corey Hart?
Can we get some I think we need to do and Corey Feldman, I believe, has a band. I think we need to do some sort of tour here. We had the new Corey, the Corey Perry. There's a lot going on that makes no sense to me right now, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. I love this though.
Yeah.
I think there's something there. There's something there. And if he hooked up with Chelios, is he hockey royalty?
Oh yeah. Chelios is a legend, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially for the Blackhawks, right? Like it's on those great Blackhawks teams in the 90s with, Roenick and Belfour went to the Cup final. I think did they go to 2? No, just
pretty
one,
dominant. I mean, everybody knows my knowledge of hockey is from NHLPA 94.
Yes.
It's all of my hockey. You weren't even allowed to be those Blackhawks teams. That was like being odd job in GoldenEye. You were just like you were not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to be, the Tony Amonte, Jeremy Roenick, Chris Chelios, Balfour. Like no, it was illegal. Because Roenick was unstoppable.
Yeah, Roenick was a glitch in the game.
Yeah, Roenick was like Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah,
Bo Jackson.
exactly.
So okay, so he's been let go.
Yeah.
What,
And quick, Andy, because you seem like you've never heard of Corey Perry.
I don't know anything. No.
Oh yeah, I guess not surprising. Yeah, like he's like a long time. He was a long time Anaheim Duck. Like won a cup with them, won an MVP with them in 2011. Like long career. Then he went
Like
to
a league MVP.
Yeah, like a league
Wow.
MVP. Yeah. Like he was a big deal for a long time, and then he went to Dallas. He had a stretch where he lost in the Stanley Cup Finals 3 straight years with 3 different teams, with Dallas in 2020.
Well, maybe don't bang your teammates.
This is karma, isn't it?
I don't want to say
bring it
locker
back to
room
Taylor Swift.
cancer, but
Yeah, so
more like locker
2020
room
Dallas.
AIDS.
Yeah. Dallas, Montreal, and Tampa. He went those 3 teams. He lost the Stanley Cup Final each year. So that's kind of a little background on him.
So how are they as a team? So we have this young phenom, right?
Yeah.
Is Bedard living up to the hype so far?
He's very good. He's not lighting it up like you've seen other rookies in the past. Like he's nowhere near where like Crosby and Ovechkin were in their rookie, or even McDavid. I don't think he's quite a point per game, but he's very good. Like his shot is absolutely lethal. Like lethal release. He's very, very shifty. Fun player to watch, but
and very young, right?
Yeah, he's 18.
He looks like a twink. I just pulled him up. He speaking of porn, he looks like he'd be in one of those twink films, or maybe with like an older gay Hollywood exec who's like a late 50s who likes the
very specific.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a very specific genre of porn.
I'm just saying, you live in LA. You saw you'd see the guy, the older gentleman who's rolling around in his $75,000 convertible with like the young twink.
You're talking the Lou Pearlman of.
Yes,
he's basically a boy bander rolling around riding shotgun with Lou Pearlman.
100%. This is. I mean, he's a very, very young. He looks really young. Like, is he even 18?
Yeah, he's 18, but like I feel like kids these days, they keep looking younger and younger. Like if you look back at like Wendell Clark's rookie year, like he looks like he could be my dad. Like, right?
Yeah.
I like how you tossed out. Who the hell is Wendell Clark?
Come on, Andy.
All
of my hockey knowledge is from NHLPA 94. Okay. Wendell Clark, one of the few guys in that game you could shatter the glass with.
Yeah, and I brought him up.
Fun fact.
The first time I was on, we had this discussion, and I mentioned how like one of my uncles is cousins with him, and that's how I became a Leafs fan.
Well, sorry,
you need a notepad while I'm on.
Yeah, and I don't remember. Couldn't even tell you what I had.
He still thinks your trains run on coal, even though you told him 15 times.
Wait, they don't run on coal? Bring back the coal. Okay, so how is the team doing? How are the Black
Ruther trying to win Ohio in the 2024 election? Bring back coal. Everybody else in the world is like, why the fuck is Ohio give a shit?
Yeah. Well, the Blackhawks are fucking terrible. They're absolutely dreadful.
Good to know.
Yeah. Well, they won the first overall pick last year, so they were bad, and just a bad roster around Bedard. He doesn't have much to work with, so can't really blame the kid for not putting up like lights out numbers yet. He's got a shit team, but
Well, before Andy gets us off track, you said the Blackhawks are bad. Who's good? What's happening in hockey? What should we be? I did a quick glance very recently at the standings, and I saw the Rangers are in second in the East. So
first now,
I guess I should get excited.
Even first, I think the Rangers are the odds-on favorite to win the cup right now. I believe.
Looks like I'm getting into hockey.
Yeah, I was hoping for it. Yeah, I need Joe a little invested. Rangers, they weren't able to keep their big deadline gets last year, like Tarasenko and Kane, they both left. So, but they've been able to, they fired their coach. That was the big thing in the offseason. They fired their coach. They brought in Peter Laviolette, which obviously you guys probably don't know him, but
sounds familiar though.
He won a cup with Carolina in 2006. He took Philly to the finals. He took Nashville to the finals. So the guy can coach.
It's amazing how hockey coaches move around. Like it seems like unlike the NBA or the NFL, like these guys win cups or like take teams to the finals. And then like 4 years later, they've coached 3 different teams.
We did this last year, and it was funny because the very next podcast, you guys talked about NBA championship winning coaches getting fired, like Frank Vogel or the Bucks coach. Like Dwayne Casey, he got fired by the Raptors, and then he won Coach of the Year in the same offseason.
I feel
like it does happen, but I mean, hockey. Maybe
but I feel like I guess I feel like the other thing is, it always seems like these guys are on like 4 teams away. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, he took this team to the cup in 2017. And since then he's coached Columbus, Dallas, and Arizona. And you're like, what?
Yeah. The hockey does go through a lot of coaches. It is crazy. And Laviolette's he's on the carousel. He gets passed around like almost, more than a lot of people. And, to bring it a bit to the West, the Oilers, they fired their coach early in the season. They were my cup pick, and looks like the Klatt curse is the
Klatt curse is alive and
well.
They're
struggling. I'm looking right now. They are.
Well, they were 10th. Struggling. They were
10th
like
in the standings.
They were like 3-11 to start the year. Like it was really, really bad. Like they were looking at being a lottery team, and then they fired their coach because they had to do something. Now they've won 7 in a row now, though. So, hopefully they've found something here. But they're.
Andy, should we make the title of this Ryan Klatt derails trains and hockey seasons? and cup chances.
I love it. Yeah.
It's a very Black Sports Online title right there.
Yeah.
Well, I see the Black Knights again, or sorry, I always do that. The Golden Knights, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Black Sports Online, the Blackhawks, the Black Knights. Andy's got his own porn genre and the hockey.
The Golden Knights showing up again, huh?
Yeah, man. Like Aiden Hill, the goalie, just the guy who came out of nowhere and carried them. Well, didn't carry him, but he played very well last year. He's just picking right up where he left off, and he's probably the Vezina favorite right now, goaltender of the year.
I knew that one.
So remind me again who played last year. Who was in the final?
Vegas and Florida, with Vegas winning.
That's right. So Vegas won. And they're representing again. Now, why are they not the favorites?
Vegas?
Or are they're obviously one of them.
They're one of them. I don't know. It's hard to repeat. It's so hard to repeat, right? Like NHL playoffs are so grueling. So that probably plays a factor. The odds that I've got right now, DraftKings has can I even say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, I wasn't sure about the sponsor or whatever. But Golden Knights are the second favorite right now behind the Rangers for the Stanley Cup right now.
Wow, so. Rangers, Stanley Cup favorites. I wish I'd known this yesterday. I would have started watching hockey before the show.
When's the last time you went to a Rangers game, Prano?
Well, I went to a Rangers game last year at LA.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, nice try.
No, I wasn't trying to get you. I'm just curious. When's the last time?
I have not been to a Rangers game in the Garden. I think it was last year. I was home during the playoffs, and I said to some buddies, I was like, "Should we go to this? Should we go to this playoff game?" And no one took me up on it, even though it was like a text to all of my hockey fan friends. Just because you know me, like being in the building for like cool shit, and I do love watching hockey in person. So yeah, maybe it'll have to be a. I don't know if the Rangers have already made a West Coast swing this year, but maybe it'll have to be a Ducks or a Kings game or something like that. Although I'm probably closer to fucking San Jose at this point.
What's the crossover? I'm curious. Is like a New Yorker, like are Knicks fans diehard Rangers, or is it just like is hockey is always its own like genre?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously with in hockey, you got the Islanders. And so you have a team on Long Island for hockey, and you have a team in New Jersey for hockey, weirdly. So that breaks up the
true. I forgot
that breaks up the like geography of it a little. A lot of Giants, Knicks fans, in Jersey, but also the people who still root for the Nets are kind of in New Jersey, even though they've moved to Brooklyn. But those are all fucking Devils fans, and you got a lot of Mets, Jets, Knicks fans out on Long Island. All
Isn't it
Islanders
typically
fans.
like Mets and Islanders? I know you don't follow into that, but
Yeah.
Mets and Islanders fans typically.
Yeah,
share
there's a lot of that's a Long Island thing. So a lot of Mets, Jets, Islanders, because technically, Shea's out on Shea, where the Mets and the Jets played together, technically out on Long Island over there. Or is it Queen? I don't know. Yeah, I think so. And but yeah, that all goes that way. It's way easier to get into the old Shea Stadium from Long Island than it would be to get to Yankee Stadium or to get to the Giants Stadium or whatever. So Long Island, big Mets, Jets, Islanders territory.
Right.
Where I'm from, Westchester, and Connecticut, big Yankees, Giants, Rangersville. But I just ended up being a Mets fan.
Yeah. That's where Jonathan Quick is from, Connecticut, and
There we
he's
go.
now the Rangers backup, and he's been amazing this year.
Well, let's see if I remember. He played goalie for the Kings.
Yeah, but
And
probably the
beat the
best.
Rangers in a cup.
Yeah, in 2014, and probably the best goaltending performances in the playoffs ever in 2012 was Jonathan Quick. If anyone
Really,
tells you-
ever.
If anyone tells you different, you tell them Ryan Klatt said otherwise.
Say Klatt's going to derail your life.
Yeah.
His train. He's gonna roll in and drive that train straight through your house with a fucking hand to the face, huh?
Exactly
So
what I'll
the
do.
Blackhawks are every genre of internet porn. The odds-on favorites are the Rangers and the Golden Knights in the East and the West, respectively. What else is going on in hockey we need to know about?
Well, I thought like maybe some surprise teams we could maybe touch on a bit. Like the Canucks are killing it. They've been garbage for a few years now. Again,
Well, it's because they went back to fucking nice, cool uniforms instead of that shitty whale.
Oh yeah, that's their third jersey. So yeah, the classic black and red and yellow. Yeah, those are so nice. Speaking of jerseys too, if I can bring it to the Anaheim Ducks a little bit. So I don't know if you guys have seen, they brought in those these third jerseys and they're purple. Brought back some Mighty Ducks colors. So much like you and Laz did with the Padres with bring back the brown. The Ducks, they got to bring back the purple like full time. Like it's just their third jersey right now, but next year they got to have that purple jersey as their main one, and then make it in white for the road, and then have like a teal third jersey, and then they're really gonna start to cook.
Also, I mean, I don't even know what the Ducks wear right now. Besides, you just told me their colors, but like
it's
and I know it was a Disney thing when it started, but like the Friday the fucking 13th Jason hockey mask with the duck bill on it thing was that's what a fucking logo. That's the best logo in the history of sports, maybe. And you got and that's nowhere to be found anymore, right?
Well, I think it's on their shoulder patch, and like I said, their third jerseys now. Like the logo, I believe, is what they wore on their shoulder patch back in the Mighty Ducks days.
Right.
So it's not like the one with the hockey sticks through it. It's just like their shoulder, but it looks really sharp. But when Disney no longer owned the team, they decided to just rebrand everything in 2007. They actually won a Stanley Cup their first year with these new jerseys, but they don't look that good anymore. The purple looks so good. And actually, former intern of the show, Aaron Maharis, has jumped on the Ducks bandwagon. So
he moved down to Long Beach.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
So
well, and he also has a connection to Disney because he
exactly
lives.
I knew where that was
it's too bad his season pass doesn't like get him Ducks discounts.
Yeah.
I'm picturing him wearing those Mickey Mouse ears as he's going to the games.
Oh, he definitely wears like a Mighty Ducks bill, like a duck bill into the stadium. And he has to like remove it to drink Modelo.
Like the goofy hats, but instead of goofy, it's
exactly. And I'm sorry, I said Modelo's, but I mean fucking hard seltzers. Just like lifting up his duck bills to pound tall boys of hard seltzer. I love
hilarious.
Morris, by the way.
Oh, he's great. He's the best.
great.
Yeah. Like
Poorly timed moves. He went south. I went north. Ships passing in the night. I'd be doing a lot more hanging out with Aaron if he still lived up in Camarillo.
yeah, he jumped on the Ducks bandwagon, and then all of a sudden the Ducks just started winning like all these like close games. They were having all these third period comebacks, and they went on like a 7-game heater. They then like lost like 9 games in a row, but they're still a super young team, but they got a really bright future. They got a lot of young studs on the team, so that's.
I bet they do some Disney cosplay with those players and the moms. I bet we got some like weird sexual cosplay.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe. I want to hear more. Sure. Any other
Corey Perry's trying to join the team. He's like, I'm just saying, Donald and Daisy, they didn't wear pants.
You got any other dirt? We got any other like inside hockey dirt? I love the dirt.
Oh, well, yeah, nothing could top it. The hockey needs the juicy rumors, though. They need people like that. As weird as that Bedard Perry rumor was, I mean, it got people talking about hockey. So I was starting to wonder maybe Bettman started that rumor himself just to get the, stir the pot up a little bit. But no, that's actually awesome. That's awesome intel from Jacob Faith there, man. Imagine what kind of.
I think Jacob Faith is like working in youth hockey too.
He's involved in the SJHL, the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, I believe. So
the what?
Yes. Do you guys remember that bus crash that happened a few years ago? The Humboldt Broncos bus crash.
Yes.
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah. So the Humboldt Broncos play in the SJHL actually.
Got it.
So, but I was gonna say, imagine the hockey correspondent he could have been if he stayed, coherent during his calls.
Well, look, Earl's Wine Bar had something to say about that.
Yeah.
Earl's Wine Bar said,
"Earl's is a good time." Yeah.
To take Lee Corso's line, not so fast, my friend. like Earl's Wine. First of all, who names it a wine bar Earl's? Like when you think of a wine bar, you do not think of the name Earl's. Maybe Pearl's. Pearl's more of a wine bar name, not Earl's.
Sure. It's a spot. I think Saskatoon's got a location. Regina's got a location.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like I don't know what the comparison would be. It's like sit down kind of chain, but like maybe a bit higher end sit down, like
a Chili's.
I don't want to say
America,
like
Applebee's?
Chili's or Olive Garden, kind of like that. Like it's like basic, but it's like a bit more up. I'd say it's a step above like Chili's.
So one last thing, give me, and I know you got to hop on a train, you got to shovel coal. There's things to happen in your life. Anything we should be on the lookout for, or people who actually care about hockey? Because I will not be looking out for anything, to be fully frank. What can people maybe expect, or some surprises? Anything you got?
I think the LA Kings are a really sneaky team, so let's keep an eye on them. Other than that, like my Leafs, I mean, just continuing to kill it in the regular season. So keep an eye on them. Other than that, I don't have too much else. I wanted to like touch on, the big 1000th episode coming up, and congrats to you guys.
Thanks,
what a fucking ride it's been, eh?
Thanks, man. Give me from your perspective. Do you have any like a favorite thing? I know I'm putting you on the spot, or just
favorite
something
moment,
or something that just makes you laugh a lot.
So was it like last month, a few weeks ago, I left in the comments my favorite episode of the Dirty Sports, episode 276. It's called "Suck My Thundering Herd Dick." I don't have access to that episode anymore, obviously.
I believe that was taking Ed Orgeron with the school marshal, right? Because they're the Thundering Herd.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly. So I used to listen to that episode like once a month. It was you guys both got super baked, and Prano did like a Spanish Gus Johnson talking about Japanese Bush. It was the first appearance of Ed Orgeron impression, because I think he got hired on as LSU's intern coach, and then you guys joked about how he's always the interim coach, so they're like, oh, maybe the Saints should hire him as their interim coach as well, and he could coach the Saints and the Tigers at the same time. It was great, electric stuff. So
I'll have to get that to you then. Right?
You give me access.
I'll give you
backdoor
access, of
access
course.
to that
Yeah, backdoor
on
access.
DVD or what?
Perfect pun for what we're talking about, all this porn stuff. Yeah, I can give you some backdoor access to a little Ed Orgeron. Now, I do have to ask, where was the Marshall tie-in? Do you remember? Was it maybe he was going to be the assistant or
I think he was their head coach for a minute, wasn't he?
I don't know where the Marshall tie-in was. Maybe you guys were maybe Andy was just like, this sounds like a good title. We're just gonna roll with it.
I'm gonna look it up. Did he ever coach? No, he never coached Marshall. I don't know. I don't know where we got with that. I'm hoping we run into him down in New Orleans.
Yeah. And sorry I can't be there, by the way. I do have a good reason, though. My wife is like 38 weeks pregnant, and she's probably going to be early. So,
well, congratulations to you. How many is this? This is your first?
Second.
So, right. Well, congratulations. You know what you're having?
No, we're not finding out. We didn't find out for the
very
first
Canadian of you guys.
Yeah.
By the way, let me ask you something, Ryan. As somebody who just had a kid, isn't it weird when people congratulate you? Like,
congratulate me?
Well, it's just I always think it's weird when people are like, "Oh, congrats, you have a kid, you're pregnant." I'm like, dude, you're just congratulating me on not pulling out. Like,
well, I actually think congratulations. I feel like is way more suitable. I think the weird one to me is when people ask if you're gonna have a kid or if you guys are trying.
No, I agree. Well, that's
it's like, are you guys trying? Am I fucking her raw? Is that what you're asking?
Are you
me,
pumping
Mom?
loads? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's also.
It would just be really great. We'd really love it if you could load in our daughter.
I never
had
thought
many conversations about this with my friends. Like, do you find it weird? It's like, yeah, it is weird. It's
congratulations on loading in my daughter. That seems slightly more appropriate.
Well, to be honest, I think it's
your mom is gonna love this episode.
Yeah.
Man, she's good.
I think it's people. I think it's rude. Like, you don't know if a woman, and that's
rude.
Well, it's a personal thing. I'm talking about as far, are you trying to have kids? You don't know if a woman has issues getting pregnant, and
totally.
That's very sensitive to a woman. You don't know if a dude's got some issue with his sperm. It's like, yo, you're getting pretty personal.
Are you guys trying? Actually, we are trying. I've been cream pieing your daughter regularly, but her tubes are all fucked up. So thanks for that, Martha.
Yeah, it is a pretty personal question, Andy. You're right, because I mean, infertility is actually super common, and it's very hard on some couples. So
right.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I mean, congrats. The congrats thing. I mean, congrats on becoming a father. I mean, that's.
Well, that's.
I don't think they're congratulating you on the act.
Yeah, I think since we just talked about the weirdness of are you trying, because you're not thinking about the infertility, I feel like the congratulations makes more sense. Percongrats on not being infertile. There you go.
Right. There you
Congrats.
go.
Everybody works.
Well, I just hope that our boy Perry's not too fertile, because he'd be knocking up moms and daughters and who knows, right?
And then he could do a whole other genre.
His nickname is the Worm too, by the way. So his worm got somewhere where it wasn't supposed to be, I guess.
Well,
I think Dennis Rodman has something to say about that.
I was just gonna say.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dennis Rodman.
And I think what he'd have to say is. You ever notice that Dennis Rodman for some reason talks out his nose?
Yeah.
And it's tough because he's got all those nose rings. It makes it even harder. Well, Ryan, it's always a pleasure bringing you on, and we'll have to do this again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, later on.
Let me know what's going on.
It's tough in the regular season. Like, we got football going on. I'm sure there's dirt balls listening in their car, like wanting to listen to football. It's like, I got to listen to the fucking Canuck today. God damn it. But this is fun, but we'll do it again for sure. Yeah.
Cool. And for those dirt balls, you know what?
Put it on Reddit where we'll never see it.
And also, like, come on, this is quality content. You know how it is. It's dirty sports. We're off the rails. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll do it soon. All right.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me on again. Shout out to my wife, and shout out to the RFH.
Shout out to both as well. And if you have any parenting questions, don't come my way.
Very good.
I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, thanks, Ryan. Good having you.
All right.
Good to see you, Ryan.
Good having Ryan on.
Great.
It's always a Good call. Good having updates. Love the train updates. And I love that he knows that episode.
Yeah. He's got a favorite episode, and I love that.
276, which is a great time to remind everybody. We will be in New Orleans this weekend.
That's right. I mean, Ryan said episode 276. When we record the 1000th episode, that'll be he's talking about an episode significantly 3 times closer to the start of Dirty Sports than it is to the current day of Dirty Sports. 1000th episode this coming Saturday in New Orleans, Comedy House NOLA. 1000th episode at 4 p.m. Stand-up show at 7. Stand-up show at 9. Dirtball registration on Friday. Saints Giants on Sunday. We've just got a whole lot in New Orleans this weekend, and I'm super. I can't believe it's here. I can't believe it's this weekend now.
Well, pack the raincoat. Did you look at the weather?
No, is it supposed to be raining?
Yeah,
the whole weekend.
I think so.
Hurricanes for everybody.
I know.
Honestly, it's fine. You just, it's just you're drinking and you're getting rained on.
Well, we'll see. You know how the weather is. They're always wrong with their predictions, but
yeah. For example, they said the levees would hold, so you never know. Not the best predictors down there.
Too soon. Yeah. So, guys, we're looking forward to it. Again, I know it's last minute, but if anybody has any potential to go, make it happen. Right? 1000th episode, 10 years of the podcast. It'll be
wild.
It'll be a celebration. To quote Chappelle Show, it'll be a celebration, bitches. It'll be fun.
It'll be great. It'll be fantastic.
The Saints are coming off a win.
Huge win. I love this transition back into football. Do it, Andy.
That I recklessly took just recklessly took the Panthers to cover. Terrible idea.
Yeah. I said, despite your prediction of, again, the prediction of the year, despite your prediction of the one Panthers win, I said, I'm pretty sure I had a great handle on the Panthers. And Mata confirmed that yesterday. He sent me my Panthers picks for the year. Early in the season, game 1, I picked wrong against them. There was a push, I think, in week 2 or week 3 against the Saints. And then I picked incorrectly against them when you picked Houston, when you picked them to upset Houston. So I picked them in week 1, wrong. Then I had a push, and then otherwise all wins in the 14 weeks. So I've got my Carolina Panthers dialed in. Also, it just seems like the Saints and the Falcons and who's the other shithead team that's down there? And the Bucs are all going to be, they're just going to fight for that under 500 playoff spot.
Yeah. Well, Jameis did not play. So the 100th career interception
is very much in play for this weekend.
Because we all know Derek Carr gets hurt all the time.
Yeah.
So it's in play.
And a Derek Carr wonky, shitty first half against an improved Giants defense. The Giants stink. Get him out. We need a life. I love it. That's something everybody who goes to the game should do. We should all place a wager on. I mean, if he's not starting, what do you think of Jameis Winston anytime interception if he's not supposed to start pace?
I don't know, but I like it.
Can we get that now? Can somebody during the course of the show, can you see if that's even on the board?
It has to be somewhere, right?
Jameis Winston anytime interception. I mean, you got to be getting plus 800 that he gets in the game and throws a pick.
Yeah.
If it's plus 1,000 or greater, we just have to do it.
This season's insane, by the way.
So in the last 3 weeks, let me just tell you what's been going on. This is how crazy the season is. So now 3 weeks ago, I won my confidence pool because I picked like basically every game correct, winners. Last week, I made a boatload of money by picking 11 of 13. I didn't bet all those, but in fact, I didn't lose any of my bets last week. A boatload of money picking because I picked every spread game, right, that I played. And yet in my winners picks did like mediocre. And then this week, devastatingly shitty week, break-even week financially, horrible week picking winners. I mean, I think I picked half of the games. Just picking the winner outright. Like, think about the teams that won this week.
It's a tough year, man. It's a real tough year.
Every team is 7-6 or 6-7. Half the league is 7-6 or 6-7.
In the AFC, you really have to go in when you look at the wild card stuff. Like the Bengals beat Indy and they were in, and then after the next set of games, I think they dropped to 10th. Based on all the different winning percentage in conference, head to head.
And then you have the Ravens win, and then you have this like second spot. I mean, I know it's Miami right now. They haven't played yet. Also, they've got an extra win, but they're like, it's all up for grabs. But the Jags can't manage to win. The Chiefs can't manage to win.
Here's something crazy.
Like
the
no
Chiefs
movement.
The Chiefs are one game above. That's it. The Broncos. Nobody's talking about that.
What are their records?
8-5 and 7-6.
Wow.
Nobody's talking about that. And they split, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't know where you'd go beyond that, but I'm sure the Chiefs probably hold most of those tiebreakers. But they split in the regular season, so it's like, the Chiefs have a very easy schedule the rest of the way. But shit, man.
Well, and another thing we're not talking about, Andy, and I don't want to jinx it, but you and I think we both. And I know you did for sure. And maybe I just picked them to finish second. So I might actually have the right order right now. But you for sure picked the Packers to win the NFC North. Like, they're not out of that race yet. With the Lions just sort of crumbling.
Even if they win tonight, they're 2 games back. That's a lot with 4 games left. Lions are crumbling. I
mean, the Lions are crumbling, including games they're winning. Like, they don't look good in the games they are winning. By the way, what a few couple weeks for me, for guys just over here being like, all right, the Lions, the Eagles, what the fuck ever. Who gives a shit? The Vikings, oh, okay. Like, and when it comes to annoying fan bases who won't fucking leave me alone, it feels nice to sit back and put your feet up and have a break from Lions, Vikings, Eagles fans.
The Eagles, I want to talk about them for a minute. I'll tell you what. Obviously, they got their ass kicked last night. But the thing I said all along, why I was shocked Jalen Hurts was in the MVP conversation, happened again last night. Guys, the turnovers. You have 15 turnovers in the year. 15. You're not an MVP. You have 15 turnovers. That's Jameis Winston shit. I'm sorry. It is. It's Jameis Winston shit. You can't be averaging more than a turnover a game.
And also, the Eagles, you have a shitty Eagles defense suddenly, which, they showed it in the broadcast last night, but the high school coaches out on the street screaming, run the ball. Like, I hate to say it, but I have been screaming for as long as you're like, I don't think that the Eagles offense is very creative. And I don't think that they do a lot other than when they were dominating the line of scrimmage, set everything up by running the shit out of the football. And now you're not running the football with the way that you have been early in the year. Your offense becomes stagnant because I don't think it's that creative. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that good. Obviously, you have an elite wide receiver core that's carried them a little bit. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that good. You're not running the ball. So now when you're not running the ball and you're turning it over, you're keeping your defense on the field, and suddenly the defense is struggling because they don't have long breaks while you're just pounding the ball down people's throats. So to some degree, I mean, not that I want them to be successful, but I agree with like idiot Eagles fans in the street with signs. It's like, why are you in like, it's almost like, are you insisting on not running the ball? Are you trying to get Jalen Hurts an MVP? Or like, what's the goal here? It's not like they've had massive personnel changes.
No.
That can stop them. Oh, they're running the ball. Unless it's that teams have tape and even their run game isn't that creative.
I mean, look, they're still, 10-3?
Yeah.
But they did fall out of, temporarily right now. They fell out of the number 1 seed. Like both leagues, it's changed now to me where it was like, all along I was like Chiefs, Niners. Now I'm not saying that about the Chiefs anymore. I'm just not. We'll see. Niners still are the cream of the crop. I don't know if last night's win by the Cowboys is fool's gold. Right? Because
and by fool's gold, you mean what?
I mean, like we've seen this where they have a good record, come postseason, they turn into a pumpkin. Dak Prescott throws terrible interceptions. I'm not getting sucked in by them again. I'll say that much. Like I'm not picking the Cowboys.
I said it. I tweeted it last night. I said the Lions, Eagles, and Cowboys are making it really hard for me to decide who the 49ers are going to embarrass in the NFC Championship game. Like, I don't know who wants to me, it's hard for me to decide who wants that. Who wants it? I don't know who really wants it. So yeah, like, we had the caller 2 weeks ago and then also last week. And then I almost tweeted you, we should play it again. About me saying, I don't believe in the Eagles as much as I believe in the Niners. And like, why don't I? Blah, 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 blah. Well, I think that's been proven over 2 weeks. The Lions, I mean, if you're going to lose to the Bears, what, like the Niners will score what, 75 on you in a fucking home playoff game? And then when it comes to the Cowboys, like the Cowboys defense is playing pretty good. The Cowboys offense is playing pretty good, but like, yeah, the 1 year, the Dak Prescott MVP campaign, like we fixed Dak Prescott, or Dak Prescott plays really well against bad defenses and will turn the ball over against good defense. Like, again, I just think it's a Niners pass rush, defensive scheme, offense. They never take their foot off the gas. Like, I don't believe now it's the NFL, any given Sunday, maybe Brock Purdy's hand gets caught in a face mask in the second play of the game, or something. I don't know. But right now, none of those teams, and I can't, and those are really the only teams to consider, I think. But none of the Cowboys, Eagles, Lions are giving me like a ton of confidence that they could go into San Francisco and beat a Niners team. Now, I know San Francisco has a tougher schedule down the stretch than, say, like the Eagles.
Yeah, they do. I mean, there's some great games left. You still have Baltimore, San Francisco. You have Baltimore, Miami. The NFL is, I don't know if you saw this, there's a triple header. There's a triple header on Saturday. So they're moving any kind of playoff contention teams to some of these primetime games. Like they've already done it ahead. We have a back-to-back, we have a doubleheader Monday Night Football game, which I don't really fully understand tonight. But
yeah,
like,
I don't understand that either.
but like, you also have teams like the Steelers who've lost 2 in a row to 2-win teams at home. I think Tomlin is really finally on the hot seat.
I mean, listen, I've been like a little bit of a Tomlin truther. I think he got me off the Tomlin truthing game a couple years ago when, they managed to win. They managed to be somewhat decent when I didn't think they would.
They've won a playoff game since 2016.
Right. Listen, I'll tell you one thing for sure. I'm definitely a Mike Tomlin, like, isn't a genius coach. We need to get Mike Tomlin is disrespected. Mike Tomlin is underrated. I still think Mike Tomlin in some regards is overrated. But I also think that at this point, the idea, when you look around coaching in the NFL, the idea of firing Mike Tomlin, he will be scooped up immediately. And who you hiring?
I know Steelers fans want him fired, though.
That's insane.
But that's a legitimate question. Who you hiring?
Who you hiring?
I mean, look, again, it's going to be really interesting because all these games and all these teams and all these backups. The Patriots game, those. I mean, come on, guys. You're losing the Patriots.
Yeah.
And what are you doing if you're the Patriots? There's a lot of
nobody wants these picks at this point.
There's a lot of teams that are in playoff contention that have in no way could they do anything in the playoffs, but they're all doing it. Like, I mean, 2 of them play this week. The Vikings-Bengals play each other. Both 7-6. You're like, none of you guys want to get a top 10 pick. I'm still waiting for a response from our buddy Randy Ruther. He texted me yesterday after the game. Ha ha ha! I'm so confused now, and I'm just sort of question mark. Like, are you confused? You want to win?
Yeah, or maybe I think you might be also confused about Zach Taylor. Feels like Zach Taylor called a really good game yesterday.
I'm shocked nobody's coming for me because they've won 2 in a row. We all know my feelings on Zach Taylor. Congrats. You're now 6-20 without Joe Burrow.
I stand by the Bengals thing. Like, what a dumpster fire organization, right? Like, as a whole, when you look at the history,
for sure,
it's a fucking dumpster fire.
By the way, they showed the video. They showed the video driving on Interstate 75 across where the bubble is. They showed it yesterday on CBS. I couldn't stop laughing. Where that reporter was like,
the 1980s winter tennis bubble.
They showed it. They normally show across from Kentucky driving into the stadium.
Ethel, have you heard? We're going to be able to play tennis in the winter now. The country club has put up a bubble, hon. Also, we won't be able to be there on Fridays because the Bengals will be practicing. It's not a big deal. I know you love your happy. I know you love a Tom Collins on Friday, but
Tom Collins.
Yeah. But such a dumpster fire organization that, to me, and I know you probably disagree with this, but like, they're a team where it's like, good, make the playoffs. Make the playoffs without Joe Burrow. Make it and lose. Good. Make it. The Vikings, what the fuck are you doing? Also, fuck the Vikings and fucking you drunk offensive coordinator, your DUI offense coordinator, and fucking coach of the year, fucking Kevin O'Connell, who can't fucking score 4 points in a fucking game. End of the game, they get the ball back. Andy and I have different picks on that game, and I get a push because you're such an incompetent football team. You can't be trusted to kick a field goal at the end of the game. You snap the ball directly to your kicker, who pooch punts it. Just kick the field goal, motherfuckers. You're in Vegas. You're aware of the line. What a clown show situation that was. You guys managed 3 points in the whole game. How about kick it so that you don't have the lowest scoring game since they put face masks on helmets? offensive genius Kevin O'Connell robbed of Coach of the Year. Fucking manages a 2-0 fucking playoff baseball win.
By the way, we do have an update from our boy Justin. Was hoping for a great draft pick, but now it would be crazy if Jake Feisty gets them to the playoffs.
I kind of love it. Also, can we talk? Listen, we had Joe Burr when we have all the things, and I know like that was a evolution on Joe Cool, right? Can we not call him Joe Cool? Like Joe Cool's taken.
Yeah. I don't think who calls him Joe Cool.
They said it like 4 times during the game yesterday. They're like, there's Joe Cool around the sideline.
Yeah, that's Joe Montana. Come on.
It's fucking. First of all, it's Snoopy, and then Joe Montana stole Snoopy's nickname, but that's where it ends. There can only be one quarterback.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I heard some insights. So I was invited to that game, by the way, by my buddy who's got tickets for his company, and I, the truth is, I did have prior engagements, like a 6th grade nephew basketball game.
I love you talking about fucking youth basketball. And you're like, I was previously engaged.
No, so I went, and by the way, Isla's first basketball game, which was, she like lost her shit, like loved it. But
she's been watching you play Papa Shot.
Oh yeah.
So now this is she's like the evolution of this game.
Oh, absolutely. She absolutely loved it. But also, it was
you need to hop in the car sometime soon and go to Indiana and take her to a Pacers game. I need Isla courts. Can the Dirtballs throw in some dough? Can we get Isla courtside seats to the fucking Keiko Fieldhouse or whatever the fuck it's called these days?
She have to wear those baby headphones.
Love it. Let's do it. Let's Drew Breezer.
No way would I allow her to do that because it's too loud for her.
Give her the headphones.
Yeah, no, I've always made fun of people who do that.
Oh man. What year can we send Isla courtside to a fucking NBA game?
At least 2.
I love she's allowed to do 40-hour work weeks at daycare, but she can't go to she can't sit front row at an NBA game.
You think she's working at daycare?
She's at daycare more than my fucking dad was at the office back in the day.
She's in the doghouse right now, so she better get the sleep schedule under control. 40 hours. That's hilarious. They are open for real, which is crazy. I usually drop her off like 8:30, pick her up at 4. They're open from 6:30 to 6. And I always think that I'm like, is there any kids in here that are dropped off at 6:30 and picked up at 6, like a 12-hour day?
Oh, I mean, I gotta imagine but I bet you there are people who drop off at 6:30. I bet you there are people who pick up at 6, right? Like work schedules is wild. Like, yeah, probably both. Probably not. Hopefully, there's not a kid there that's there the whole day.
Yeah, it'd be pretty crazy, right? But I didn't go. Also, like, you and I talked.
Just like the Green Mile kid, just like living there. That's the sound of the man working on the chain gang.
It's a great
just
song.
Fucking cool, just Cool Hand Lukeing it at at daycare.
That's hilarious. But also, like, I'm sure, Joe, you're like me. I'm like, besides that, I had something going on. 2 backups and it's cold. It's like 35 degrees. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like that's why I say NFL, you got to get it together. And obviously they played a great game, but I'm just like, I don't know. For me, I like to go to games to watch quarterbacks. And nothing, even if Browning played great, nothing against Browning, but him versus Gardner Minshew, again in 35-degree weather, that's a tough sell for me for my whole day. Right? Like, you don't got Joe Burr in there. Come on.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you saw that. The Bengals didn't do anything wrong in the NFL's investigation. But my favorite part about all this is we talk about idiot fans, is the Bengals fans being like, everybody wears a compression sleeve when they fly. but my counter, which nobody seems an answer to, is then why did they take it down when they posted the pick?
Right. And also, why is it just on that hand?
Yeah.
Like Joe Burrow has like had a calf problem. Joe Burrow's had a knee problem. Joe Burrow's had whatever, but it happens to be on his hand that he injures in that following game. It's so he can play with his iPad. Is he one-handing his iPad? Like, why isn't it on his other hand?
I'm gonna wear a compression sleeve on my flight to New Orleans. Maybe wear one when I hold a mic now.
Everyone wears a neck brace when they fly. I know it looks like a neck brace, but it's really one of those sleep pillows. Everybody wears an eye patch. Why would anyone wear an eye patch when they fly?
Oh, man. Can we play a couple NFL calls?
Sure.
I'm curious what you have to say about this one. This one was left last week.
Ooh.
All right, last time. My bad, Ruther. So, quick thing about the Dolphins. They do play the Cowboys week 16. This is their Ballsy, by the way, from Miami. They play the Cowboys week 16, so that'll be the Paper Tiger Bowl for you boys to watch. I would say that Dolphin fans, so we have our delusional fans, like Joe likes to call them. But I would say as a whole, the fan base is cautiously optimistic, right? Because, a lot of us are jaded with this team's lack of success. They haven't really won a playoff game in like 20 plus years at this point. First time since 01 that they're 9-3. So, cautious optimism, I would say, is like the overall outlook. And the other thing I wanted to call about was to get my assessment on Tua, and I think Joe would like this one. He's like a lefty Kirk Cousins, in terms of, physical traits and things like that. He's probably he has better attributes, I would say, than Kirk. Like, he's better with pocket mobility and just overall decision making. But I just think physically, he's lefty Kirk Cousins, You kind of freak out when things are not in structure with those guys, But when things are going right, they're like, borderline top 10 guys. But yeah, that's about it. Sorry if I left too many voicemails, Ruther, but
it's all good, bro.
I'll try to be more concise from now on. All right, stay dirty.
Look at that. I've now scared the dirt balls into. Yeah. Now here's the thing. I feel like everybody wants to do a lot of Kirk Cousins because we talk about him.
Yeah. I mean, there's the similarities.
He returns the ball over more.
Yeah, the similarities between the two are suddenly they look like competent quarterbacks when they have elite receivers. But I don't like my knock on Kirk Cousins always is just like fraudulent against good teams, fraudulent in big games. Tua really hasn't had that opportunity, when Tua, let's see how Tua does in these playoffs. Like if Tua wins his first playoff game, then like I'm just like, hey, this is offensive to Tua to compare him to Kirk Cousins, who's won one playoff game in the fucking 13 years he's been in the NFL.
Yeah. I saw an interesting stat. Not that this has anything to do with Tua, but we're talking Dolphins. I saw an interesting Marino stat in The Athletic. It was just saying how and I don't know if it's a stretch, but they're talking about comparing Marino to Mahomes as far as playoff games, guys who started all these games at home. So Mahomes has played 11 playoff games. They've all either been at home or the 3 neutral sites, which is the Super Bowl, right? So since 1950, Mahomes and I believe Marino are the only ones to start their first 6 playoff games at home.
Wow.
Or at the Super Bowl. So it is interesting. Like they both, and obviously Marino never won one, but Marino had tons of success. But Marino sucked on the road. And that changed. Then his career took a turn, and 7 of his next 11 games were on the road. It's just the reason I have said this right for weeks now We don't know what Mahomes is on the road. I know Mahomes
Right.
is great. We just don't know in the playoffs what he is.
Right.
But we're going to find out probably this year.
It's fun. That's fun. You know, it should have to happen at some point. It's like, you know, that's a huge factor. Like, it's not just home and road too. It's like, I don't know what the Dolphins, everything I know about Miami and Miami sports fans in general is like, I don't necessarily think there was this huge home field advantage.
Agreed.
In Miami in the 80s. If anything, maybe it's like, is it abnormally hot for January or something like that or whatever? But like Mahomes, I mean, Arrowhead is one of the great home field advantages in the NFL.
Well, not only that,
standpoint,
you'd argue, like, let's look at right now, or even just the AFC. I'd argue no other stadium in the AFC has a better home field advantage.
Yeah.
Especially of the playoff teams now,
yeah.
right? If you looked at, let's just take a few of the top teams. If you looked at Arrowhead, Raven Stadium, I think it's, I don't know, MT&T or whatever the fuck they're playing
Which is good, pretty good home field.
Which is good.
But it's not Arrowhead.
No, and Miami's not Arrowhead.
No, obviously. I mean, Buffalo, you know, they're obviously not up there right now. That's up there. When you even go through the entire league, non-dome home fields. Like, obviously the domes get louder, but like, who are the teams that are even in the class of home field advantage with Arrowhead? Arrowhead, Seattle, Lambeau, Buffalo. Is that like kind of it? Maybe.
Probably.
In Buffalo, you got the weather and a crazy fan base.
Yeah, I mean, look, I want to see Mahomes on the road. We've never seen it.
If he's smart, he'll get on the phone with the executive producer from Omaha Productions of his quarterback thing. Talk to old Eli Manning. See what he needs to do to win in the white jersey.
So we have a couple calls about Antonio Brown, which is Antonio Brown.
Oh, Antonio Brown,
which is hilarious. I'll play one of them.
What's up, guys? I was just listening to your call about your episode about Mike Evans, about him being underrated, and I agree with it. I think the reason why he's underrated is because his peak was never that high. Like, he never had the peak of like a Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, like Antonio Brown, Julio Jones. Like, he never had that kind of peak where when you're talking about the best receivers in the league, he was in that kind of conversation. I think he's similar to like a Frank Gore, where Frank Gore's peak was never that high, and I don't think he was ever considered the best running back in the league. But because of all the years that he put up great stats, it's going to end up putting him in the Hall of Fame. And I think that's the same way with Mike Evans too. But then you also talked about how bullshit it was that Terrell Owens didn't get in, which made me wonder, and I've had this conversation with my friends, do you guys think Antonio Brown ever gets in the Hall of Fame? I think, now I'm a Steelers fan, so I might be a little bit biased, but I think I would agree that based off his play, he definitely should get in, which I don't really think is a biased take. Like, I think most people would agree that when he was at his peak, he was like one of the best we've ever seen. But who knows, man? He's such a nut job. Like, who knows what's going to happen? And to be honest, I don't think the NFL wants him to have his Hall of Fame speech, because who knows what the fuck he'd say.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, let me know what you guys think. And condoms are for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I fucking hate watching this team play.
Well, they move slow, methodically, kind of like homeboy talks. like you've embodied the team. But thanks for the call. Here's the thing about Antonio Brown. He's only 24th currently all time in yards. So,
Correct.
But here's the thing. What's interesting about him is 4 straight years he was first team All-Pro, right? So for 4 straight years, you're saying he's the best receiver in the game, which I just don't know if that's like you don't have the longevity.
Also, if you look at it, 8, 10, and 11 on the list all time. 8, 10, and 11 on the list all time are Steve Smith, Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson, all guys who retired between 2014 and 2016, not Hall of Famers. Anquan Bolden, not Hall of Famer. Like you take the longevity and like, listen, Andre Johnson was a guy, like I think I talked about it last week. He led the league in receiving yards a couple times, led the league in receptions once, I believe. Did Andy Ruther just leave on me? Or did I leave on Andy Ruther? I feel like I'm still live. I feel like I'm here and Andy Ruther left. I don't have access to the chat. Or maybe I do. Do I? No, that's probably. Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, Andy's back.
That was me. Sorry.
Yeah, to me, it's the combination. Like, I think had Antonio Brown lasted a few more years with how big his peak, how high his peak was, he had an opportunity, even with the craziness. But like, you take the craziness combined with the not the longevity. Like, honestly, I'll just say, like, Steve Smith had a pretty high peak. Andre Johnson for sure had a pretty high peak. Like Reggie Wayne more of a Mike Evans type.
Mm-hmm.
The quiet 1,000-yard year every year. So no, I don't think Antonio Brown gets in, nor, in my opinion, deserves to get it.
Yeah, I agree.
And you compare him to those guys who are not in, and that's to me, it's always a thing with justification. Like, if you look like a guy like, I don't know who else, there was somebody on that list who like was snuck in there, in between those two. I said 8. Yeah. So 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Marvin Harrison in at 9. James Lofton in at 12. Chris Carter in at 13. Like, James Lofton's stats don't get him in today. Marvin Harris, like, those guys, like, that's a guy, you're right behind Andre Johnson. Like James Lofton isn't better than Andre Johnson. He just played before all those statistics were, it was obviously more of a pass heavy game.
For sure. Yeah, again, like that's to be first team All-Pro 4 years in a row. That's really tough, especially how competitive the wide receiver position is. But he didn't last long enough. But goddamn, is he insane? He is insane.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Andre Johnson, 2-time first team All-Pro, 2-time second team All-Pro, 2-time receptions leader, 2-time receiving yards leader on dog shit teams.
His QB was Matt Schaub.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty tough to put him in there. Well, I want to transition this to another Hall of Fame discussion about a future Hall of Famer, probably. The Shohei Ohtani deal. $700 million. You know what, Joe? I think, to me, this is baseball's problem, though. The no salary cap, man. Like, this is a prime example.
Well, there's a lot of conversation to be had around that. I don't know if you've been seeing the thing, but we're now Major League Baseball and MLB GMs have now caught on to the Bill Belichick led
deferred money.
the way to screw the salary cap, because there's no salary cap, but there is a luxury tax, and there is like, all these things. So now we're talking about we're not talking about guys retiring and deferring their money, the Bobby Bonilla, the Ken Griffey, the whatever thing. We're talking about deals with set up deferred money. That to me is that, like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what then? Like, then there's why do we even have a luxury tax? Why do we have any of the things? Like, listen, Andy, I am a guy who, since he was a child, has been screaming about the need for a luxury, a salary cap and a salary basement in Major League Baseball. Despite the fact that I have the richest owner in baseball now, I still think we should have a salary cap. This deal, $700 million with deferred payments, it's ridiculous. Now, Shohei Ohtani, for sure worth it when you look at what he's going to bring to the team, especially if he comes back and pitches at anywhere near the quality that he was pitching before. But also, and I saw a great point by the dude from Jomboy Media, who was like, yeah, and he didn't say this, but I'll add this part. Like, in a time where the TV deals and the jersey deals and all that stuff, like, there's a lot of sharing of that stuff, just in terms of advertising at or around the Dodgers are going to make that money back very quickly, in terms of, Yoshinoya fucking ads on the walls, or Sapporo ads, or all of that stuff comes with having a huge Japanese star in a sport that's beloved by the Japanese people. They're going to make it back, twofold at least when it's all said and done. But then, and then in addition to being able to just randomly make up that you're just like deferring it, like,
and we don't know, the numbers aren't there, but
right.
We don't know. Nobody knows, but
because the deal, I don't think has been signed yet.
According to one source, unprecedented deferrals, including a majority of his salary, which was Ohtani's idea. He wanted to mitigate the collective bargaining, and also a cash flow burdens to let the Dodgers have flexibility. And also, apparently it helps him for taxes. So,
right.
I mean, it's a fucking problem.
Yeah, it's a major problem.
It's just the rich getting richer. You just don't have that problem in sports with salary caps. It's like, oh, he goes to the Dodgers, the second largest city in the country.
Yeah.
A team that's consistently been right in the thick of it for a World Series. And
as I tweeted the other day, I look forward to Dave Roberts pinch hitting for him in the fourth inning and putting in a righty in a playoff game and being like, the algorithm told me that this righty lefty matchup. And Shohei Ohtani is like, to his translator, can you tell him he's a fucking idiot? It's like, oh, USA, you a fucking idiot.
It's just insane. It's just like to comprehend a $700 million deal, especially when the previous high with Mike Trout, right?
Oh, I mean, dude, that's the
426.
Yeah. But now they're talking about the AAV and all that, and this is what these guys are paying. And no, Verlander is making this, and Scherzer is making this, but like now it's not gonna matter. Like that's not even gonna be something that's calculated because he's deferring the majority of his money. It's crazy. It's crazy. There needs to be a system in place. Now, hopefully this system doesn't come for a year or two. And hopefully the Japanese pitcher that's going to come over, hopefully Steve Cohen gives him $1 billion in deferred payments and he makes him the new owner of the New York fucking Subway Pizza Rats, the expansion franchise that he agrees to buy him the second he retires. And he also makes him the CEO of the new casino that they're putting next to Citi Field. Like, I don't give a shit. Let us have the fucking chance to do it too. But also, this needs to be solved.
Yeah. I mean, it's like such an astronomical amount.
And what's crazy too is like when you have shit like this, it's like they probably will solve it, but not after the Dodgers got Ohtani with it.
I mean, look, we're just inching closer to that $1 billion contract. Somebody's going to get $1 billion. Think about that. In our lifetime, probably the next 10 years, somebody's going to get $1 billion contract. That's like insane to comprehend.
Yeah.
I liked the Yoshinoya plug, by the way.
Yeah.
I know I've said this. Never had it once when I was in California.
I don't recommend. I do not
You
recommend.
You just don't think Japanese food and fast food go together.
You would think it would, like, listen, this was my thought process was like, I'll tell you, I prefer, and it's close because I love them both. But gun to my head, I prefer a Japanese food to a Chinese food.
Mm-hmm.
Across, like if you're just taking it like wherever I am, like New York Chinese
doesn't
food
wreck
is
my
one
stomach,
thing,
I'll tell you that much.
Right. But so you would think it's just like the what's the Panda?
Panda Express?
Well, you would just think, oh, this is the Panda Express of Japanese food.
Yeah.
It is not. Yosha, no thank you.
Yosha, not gonna work here anymore.
Yeah, Yosha fucking went Godzilla on my insides. It was fire breathing. There was a fucking, it was bad.
I miss Jack in the Box though, man.
You know who used to get Yoshinoya for us?
Who?
Keiko. Shocker.
Oh, Keiko.
Keiko would do a Yoshinoya lunch, and you're like, I have to go home early. She's like, but you haven't finished moving cardboard boxes from one room to another where you're going to move them back tomorrow. And I'm like, because Godzilla is coming out my asshole.
I need a Keiko update.
I need a Keiko update so bad.
I need a Keiko update. I want to know if Mama San is still rocking, if she's still alive. I want to know if her son.
Mama San's going to outlive both of us.
I know. I want to know if her actual son is still just smoking weed while everybody else does work. I never met Keiko's husband.
Yeah, I don't. I did. I met.
Didn't you say they couldn't share a bedroom together because they were like some like new Christian?
No, she wouldn't share a bedroom because they weren't married yet at the time.
Keiko.
But yet she made me move all. Yeah, she made me move all of her shit, including like a fucking, something out of like The Golden Child, like a fucking, a antique Japanese bed that like, some fucking Japanese king would live in, piece by piece down to
And
like
that's what she
Orange
slept
County,
in?
and then put it up in like a loft. And I was like, "What? He's already got a bed." And she's like, "I have to sleep up there for now because we're not married." And I was like, "Keiko, this is insanity."
Did I bang Keiko? Did I ever tell you?
You did?
No. It wouldn't surprise you though, would it?
I thought you were saying you would, and then I was like, did he just say he did? No, absolutely would have surprised me. She wasn't sleeping in the same bedroom as her husband. I don't think she was banging one of her 11 movers.
I think that was a front by Keiko.
Keiko wasn't big on fronting.
True, but I'm just saying, like, give her a,
because Keiko would say some ridiculous shit. And like you'd be like, what's happening? She's like, well, thank you for helping me move today. Here's $1,400. Also, the best I can do for lunch is Yoshinoya. And I was like, that's cool. I'll take $400 of the $1,400 you gave me to move cardboard boxes, and I'll get my stomach pumped.
My favorite was the time that you and I moved the AC unit. Do you remember when you moved the AC unit? Which we still don't understand. We went to Beverly Hills. The AC unit was sent to a dry cleaner.
Oh, dude.
Do you remember? And then we went to Mama Son's house, and she paid us, no lie, $250 each to literally pick up an AC unit
It was insane because
and
like
drop it off somewhere else.
the thing it was like a used unit that somebody didn't need anymore. It's like this dentist is getting rid of it. So like, oh, I know somebody who's getting rid of it, and Mama-san needs one. So you guys go there. You guys go there and you pick up this used unit and you bring it, install it to my mom's, and I'll give you guys $500. And I would be like,
we didn't even install it.
yeah. But meanwhile, what you want to say to her, but you don't want to say to her because then it costs you money, is like, you could have had Home Depot deliver and install a brand new AC unit for less than you paid me. Why are you doing this?
The legend of Keiko.
Okay, you wouldn't have had to pay. You wouldn't have had to get the Home Depot guys Yoshinoya.
Yeah, true. You talk about like, see, like that's a prime example. We're coming up on the 1,000th episode of characters or people we've talked about on Dirty Sports. Like Keiko is a low key,
undescribable. People, I would tell Andy about Keiko, and he didn't believe me until he experienced Keiko firsthand.
I milked that for all it was.
Listen. Given some, breaking news behind the scenes, I might be calling Keiko soon. They're like, hey, Keiko, anything moved?
That's hilarious. Yeah, man. I mean, legendary status. And what makes her also a terrible person is that she would pay us more
than the Mexican guy who worked for her for a long time.
Yeah. She'd be like, don't tell Alex.
Yeah. But I don't think that was racism.
You don't?
No. I think what that was, I'm giving Keiko the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
What I think that was is like, she just paid him, and like, so she had a set rate, and she's like, well, I don't need it to go up. But then like, because you joined in after, like, you came in after a post Joe Bryan negotiation, you were grandfathered into our rate. And then she was like, well, I don't need to pay him more.
Kind of racist still.
Yeah.
I'm just saying she could bump her rate up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just pay us the stupid amount she was paying him, and we'd have still been happy.
I'm gonna text her after the show. Keiko, what are you up to? She's gonna respond, new phone, who dis?
Yeah.
Well, look, I need to go pick up my daughter from her 40 hours of work at daycare. Yeah. So let's wrap this bad boy up. Guys, we'll be in New Orleans on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're doing a show, a live podcast, 2 live comedy shows. Joe's headlining. Looking forward to seeing you guys down there.
Absolutely. I want to add something. This is just an idea I'm throwing it out for the week after. So I won't get into the nitty gritty of the details, but spending a lot of holidays alone right now due to some, personal, interpersonal relationship matters. But I'm once again, I did what I was calling, my dog's name is Boom. I did Boom's Giving. Looks like I'm going to be doing Boom's Miss. There's a whole day of NBA schedule. I think there's 3 NFL games. I know a lot of people like doing Christmas is a thing. But if anybody is interested, I'm just feeling the waters. If I were alone on Christmas Day, would like a live streaming Boom's Miss of NBA and NFL games be something that Dirtballs would be interested in, or is everybody just gonna be doing their own holiday thing? Because I'll get up in the morning and just start I'll just set up equipment and just move throughout the house in and out of a stream. If that's the kind of thing, I don't know, people would make like holiday donations for or something like that. Just feeling it out. Not committing to this yet. Just taking the temperature. But come see us in New Orleans this weekend. Follow me on all social media at Joe Prano. Bunch of shows in and around Los Angeles coming up for the rest of the year. Some interesting stuff coming up in January. So stay on my social media at Joe Prano. Instagram specifically is where all the things get posted as far as dates and stuff go. So follow me there, and hopefully we'll see you guys at a show this soon. Hopefully we'll see you in New Orleans this weekend.
For sure. All right, guys. Have a great start to your week. We'll see you in a few days. And as always, stay